I am Patrick Phipps, aka Uncle Pat, the CEO and founder of Barber Brawl 2026. Welcome to the round table. This is where we turn our clippers off. Tell the people your name, where you're from, and what kind of barber you think you are.
Hi guys. So I'm Tashai. I'm an onset barber. Been barbering for about 7 years now. Been a cameraman for about 12 years. So I just mix and blend those together. Anyone that doesn't have a trim when I'm shooting, we just make it happen.
At what point do you think you realised that barbering was more than just a side hustle for you and a hobby? What has been your most hardest moment in your barbering journey so far?
And thing about barbering, I would say, is like working with kids that aren't really cooperative. Yeah, because when I'm able to demonstrate my skills just outright, I don't really have problems. But when there's kids kind of giving that resistance, it's always a lot harder to pull off the best trim, you know? I would say what separates good barbers from elite barbers is expectations. Why I say that is what separates normal barbers is good barbers, they deliver the service, and elite barbers surpass expectations. So yeah, that's the you wouldn't really have that much expectation for a good barber. You just kind of expect what you paid for. Kind of like a elite barber would kind of show you or train you or teach you and stuff that you probably didn't, I wouldn't say care about, but it wasn't brought to your attention until they kind of revealed it. So kind of like teachers in a way, I would say. Yeah, man. One thing that I'd say that needs to disappear though is like a trend that barbers aren't educated. Sometimes it's more like cartoon form, so it's not really even too seriously. It's like banter, but there's a lot of business, economics, maths, literature, timekeeping. Like, it's very challenging and demanding. It's not just you cut hair and kind of make people laugh. You psych it. There's a lot to it, especially if you're running your own sector or if you're a self-employed barber. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to just kind of bring that to attention. Lastly as well, it's not just a lifestyle, I think. Like, it can be a career, it can be something that changes lives, not just for the barber but for the client. So it's very important in the community, I would say. Yeah, yeah, and also one thing that I would say is like it is important for our barbers to be heard, both in a sense where they too have someone to listen to them, because barbers are like counselors in a little way. So have some respect and some courtesy for this.
What kind of pressure do you think separates good barbers from elite barbers?
What makes the difference between elite barbers and good barbers? I'd say good barbers, they have, well, they'll meet your expectations, but Elite Barber will surpass your expectations. So yeah, those are the main differences.
What trend in barbering needs to disappear immediately?
A trend that needs to disappear is that barbers aren't educated, or I don't know if it's like it could be like memes or like cartoons or stuff, but I feel like it's more like banter. It's like light banter, but there's a lot of, like, let's say maths, economics, just responsibility, timekeeping. It's a lot of logistics that goes into barbering, especially when you're running your own sector or even you're self-employed. So I just feel like that needs to disappear. Yeah.
Why Barber Brawl specifically, and what made you sign up?
I was recommended by a friend on Instagram. That's how I know about Barber Brawl.
What separates you from every other barber entering Barber Brawl?
Barbering is not just a lifestyle. Like, it can be a career. It can be something that really does pay well. So yeah, man, just keep going.
Who do you think is your biggest competition? Don't be shy, tell the truth.
Biggest competition would be, I would say, last year's winner. But we'll see how this year goes.
Cash is coming back to defend his title. On the night, do you think he'll be setting standards, or do you think the younger generation has already taken over?
Mixing the old gen with the new gen, we'll see what makes the most sense moving forward.
What would winning really mean to you personally?
Winning to me would solidify my barbering scene, because there's being exposed to the scene. There's been a good position, there's been established, but getting that recognition is also, and exposure is the best, I'd say.
But what happens if you don't win? But what happens if you don't win?
If I don't win, round of applause to the winner. No hard feelings. It's all about competing and having fun. Yeah.
If there's a young barber watching this right now that's doubting themselves, what advice would you give them?
One thing I'd say to a barber coming up, say keep going, young bull, and don't stop. Like, honestly, it's not even just a cliche thing to say. Like, it's just keep going and you'll see it'll pay off.
In one sentence, why should people root for you in Barber Brawl 2026?
Yeah, you guys should root for me because I'm about to bring the best show. Let's get litty.